Hello everybody, Wild Bill for America here, and I am thrilled to see Americans of all colors and social backgrounds coming out in force to support the new president. But the enemies of freedom are becoming more and more aggressive, so I'm going to do two videos this week. This one to inform patriotic Americans about their First Amendment rights. The other video will be some defensive tactics ideas for frontline patriots. Today I'm going to talk to you about some common tactics that the opposition will use to try to block you from exercising your First Amendment rights, to gather peaceably, and to speak freely. Two rights that are sacred in the USA. The Supreme Court has ruled on many cases in the past, and the following is settled law. Number one, the United States of America is a free speech zone, where free speech always gets the benefit of the doubt, and the courts all know this. In particular, streets, parks, and sidewalks are open forums for free speech activities, regardless of your topic. No government agency has the authority to tell you that you cannot gather or speak simply because they don't like your message. That is called viewpoint discrimination, and the Supreme Court has ruled over and over against the government practicing viewpoint discrimination. Now, occasionally government authorities will try to block free speech gatherings by saying that your presence or your message may trigger a violent response from the opposition. Therefore, you are not allowed to practice your First Amendment rights because of public safety concerns. Well, the Supreme Court has slapped down that nonsense also. If that was all it took to block free speech in America, the liberal left would simply threaten to riot and patriotic events would be blocked all over the country. But fortunately, the Supreme Court has ruled that the possibility of violent opposition is not a reason to block free speech activities. American patriots have the right to hold pro-American rallies, whether the bad guys like it or not. Number two, permit schemes. Another common tactic used by the government agents to suppress free speech is to demand that your group first get a permit from some government agency. Well, a permit is really nothing but a permission slip, and the Supreme Court has ruled over and over that no citizen can be required to ask permission from the government prior to exercising their First Amendment rights. In fact, the Supreme Court has ruled that we don't even have to let them know that we're coming. Spontaneous, peaceful, free speech events are as American as apple pie. The only time a permit may be required is if your event will disrupt major government functions, like a parade, for instance, that will block multiple streets. Number three, another tactic the government will often use is the insurance scam. They can't stop your event because they don't like your message, and they can't stop you by refusing to issue you a permit because 98% of the time, no permits are needed. So they try to bluff by demanding that your group cannot hold your rally unless you have a $1 million insurance policy in place. That is called putting prior restraint on free speech, and you guessed it, the Supreme Court has slapped it down multiple times. The insurance scam is illegal. I just watched a video on the internet of some people who were passing out flyers at an airport, and the authorities didn't like it. And sure enough, the airport administrator came out and told them that they couldn't pass out flyers unless they had a $1 million insurance policy. Are you kidding me? For what? In case someone gets a paper cut? Well, fortunately, there was a deputy sheriff there who set that administrator straight. Oops, did I just make a homophobic slur? No, I didn't, because homophobia does not exist. But that's a topic for another day. So please, pass this video to the Trump supporters far and wide. America needs thousands of pro-American rallies, and the participants need to know their rights. These constitutional rights that I just talked about are all detailed in Matt Staver's excellent book, Eternal Vigilance. Every patriot in America needs a copy of that book. These are the basics that every rally participant needs to know. One other one that you may run into is the law enforcement officer who tries to order you off to some obscure location that basically nullifies your event. Do not tolerate law enforcement interference with your free speech events. There is no excuse for American law enforcement to be ignorant of the First Amendment, or worse, to deliberately violate your First Amendment rights. This is Wild Bill for America, and I'm looking forward to meeting many of you at these patriotic events. The next one I'll be at is in May up in Hastings, Minnesota. Meanwhile, please pass this video to as many people as you can. Knowledge is power. Thank you for watching, and America bless God again.